that I just installed and is good, I think. But the company no longer exists anymore. I just found out. So I'm just gonna look at some of the things that well try all of them, but not like we're not gonna do comprehensive reading of all of everything. But we're gonna look at what it has. And this is PC Study Bible 5 Professional back in the day. This is not one touch thing. It was something that I had the original 4.2 disc, and then I hacked the upgrade to get the 5.0. Yeah, I got it from a, what do you call it, crazy website. But then it came out as a legitimate upgrade because I was a user. So okay, so I got the legitimate version and downloaded the legitimate because there's two different versions of 5.0C and 5.0 F. Yeah, they skipped D for some reason. Okay, well, whatever. Maybe they don't like D. D is for dumb, maybe? Who knows? F is in failure? Well, whatever. I guess you pick whatever letter. Alright, let's go look at this thing. Alright, so this is an actual Bible study questions and stuff. So let's say you're in, like, for example, I'm in the book of Philippians, right? I just finished reading chapter 2. And there's some questions here, you know, basically that you could have for a real Bible study. And you don't have to come up with your own questions. You can, somebody else already thought of these questions. Yeah, okay. But that's pretty good. I like it. I like that. Okay. Next chapter is chapter 3. And there's three different things here. Seeing what's there. Interesting. I kind of wish that uh, all right, they had a what would I call it? What kind of Bible study is that? Intro something Bible study. Anyway, okay, so they give you four. They give you a Bible, right? And it pops up over here, the Bible, and the different Bible versions that you get. You get a whole bunch of different Bible versions, like a whole bunch of different Bible versions. Okay, we're not doing it. Okay, it gives you concordance, and it pops up the phrase and where it is in the Bible, and it gives you some options for that. And it has a global option. What's that? Okay, and that gives you the ability to search with different um, translations and also other things, other additional Bibles that they came up with. And some other stuff. All Greek and Hebrew, all Bible. Let's see if I can. Yeah. So that's interesting. Okay. Boom. Now they have another one's called Topic. And Topic has a drop down. You know, this thing's in the way. Let me move. Ah! Alright. It comes with all these. Now imagine, it just comes directly with all this stuff. For example, I don't remember ever opening this before. So it is a dictionary. And you'd have to search the words or whatever. But let's look at one of the words. I'm just gonna do some random. Okay, how about Esther? And so we'll look up Esther. And then it comes up with Esther and different things about Esther, the spiritual lessons, the key verses, what she said, what was the time period, her husband, and stuff. That's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, and it's WHB. What is WHB? Wilmington Bible Handbook, in case you want to know where you're at. So that's concordance. What else do they have? Oh yeah, we're on topics, right? So the topics. Let's go look at another one. How about glossary? So they have some IPV glossary backgrounds in the New Testament. So we'll do that. How about the apocalypse? And click on that, and just a little bit on that on apocalypse. My arm is getting tired because my monitor TV is so high up, man. So there you go. So that's that. And then they have commentaries, and this has a drop down of it has Adam Clark's, Barnes, the Bible Knowledge Commentary, which is automatically like $50 by itself. And so those IPV things aren't cheap either. By the way, IPV is kind of pricey. Also, I don't know how much it is, but some of this stuff isn't free. So yeah, you get all this stuff. Okay, word study commentaries. Interesting. I want to go look at that. So let's go look at that. And then they have uh, Worsby outline uh, information, which I love that. But okay, let's click on that, and they give you four different options. So we're gonna pick on. We'll pick on this one. And since I was studying this, we will drop down to Philippians chapter 1. We'll just whatever. Chapter 1. And then boom, it shows up with all of this just in the first verse. Wow. Okay? I'm not even going to read all this stuff. I'm not going to let you know. I'm not here to read. But the fact is, you could, like, for example, let's just drop down with the deacons soon episcopos. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And then Kai Dikaionos. Yeah, the deacons and the bishops and the saints. Pastosia Hagios. Yeah, the word Saint Hagios here refers to professing Christian, as in 1 Corinthians 1:2, as well as Romans chapter 1 verse 7. The origin of the word all posse means that individual believers are included. Okay, and boom, let's move on to something else. So that's the commentaries. Look, I mean, just look at how many commentaries. This is crazy. All right, we'll move on to the Greek here by verse. We'll do by verse, and we have to click on this, and an interlinear Bible shows up, and we'll just open that. And then the interlinear Bible shows up. Oh, by the way, there's stuff on the other side too that opens up. It doesn't really get in the way. It's just and then if it does, you think it gets in the way, you can move it or move it. So it gives you more stuff to look at. This is what the Greek looks like. It's not as fancy as Logos, admittedly, but it's still there. You know, it's still, you know, maybe the font isn't the greatest looking. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. Uh, there's probably a way to change it. Yeah, you can change fonts in here. Yeah, you can get really crazy with the background, the color. You can make it larger. You can change the font. I'm not gonna get on. This is just the default stuff here. Okay. All right, and plus whatever you had open before, it kind of keeps track of it and as a tab. Uh, Interesting. All right. So that is that one. We're gonna go by English word topic, and vines. We'll open that up, and then we'll just type in the word ability, or how about abundance? Abomination. Okay, cool. Abomination. All right, here we go. Here's abomination. Yeah, I don't know about you, but this is pretty good. Um, I wonder how much this would cost in logos to get all the same kinds of things. Uh, you know, admittedly, almost, the thing about logos, you get a lot of stuff that's in other, like, um, it's just general. It's Christian in general. This is, I don't know, more, more, uh, Protestant type of thing. I think. I could be wrong. Hey, how you doing? Lefaraspi. I don't know how to pronounce your name, man. Oh, so anyway, so there's that. Then you go to the books. So there's books and stuff. There's appendix. What is this? ASB transliteration guide. You have a transliteration guide. We'll do Hebrew, and then we'll do the vowels, and then click. I'm just picking random stuff, by the way. I'm not. We're not gonna be like, oh yeah, I know. I'm looking. So there you go. This is it. This is what it kind of looks like, the transliteration guide. Like Abba, Abba, and then the next word and whatever. I really don't know. So, okay, I am gonna keep going. So, utilizing continents of Vate to demonstrate. I don't know what it's talking about. If you know what it's talking about, great. I don't, unfortunately. So there's appendices, then there's abbreviations. Oh, the Dead Sea Scrolls. Oh, check that out. So we're gonna open that, and I didn't. Okay, I never looked in here before. I have to admit. So they have fragments. Oh, but they have hundreds of fragments. Looks like. I could be wrong, but it looks like they have hundreds of fragments. I'm gonna scroll a little bit to see what else is in here. This just looks like like what stuff would show up as kind of thing. Books and journals, frequently cited works. Okay, that's kind of boring. So we're gonna go to the Bible studies. Okay, Bible studies, and look at the Old Testament, and look at Joshua. And here we go. Joshua Bible study questions. And the events recorded in this book were sometimes considered the high point of Israel's spiritual strength and obedience as the people of God. What would be the strongest evidence for this? So yeah, I like this. Then you can go in and read the book and try to find the information that is the. Here's some of the recommended passages and stuff like that they give. Yeah. All right. So there's that book, and then let's look at some of the general books. Here, oh, the commentaries. So the commentaries, they don't include a lot here. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me get back to the commentaries. That's all they include, but this is a lot anyway. And then we can go down to general books, which is a lot of general books. I wonder, yeah, fundamentals of Christianity, and then works of Thomas Aquinas and other people. Charles Spurgeon over here. I mean, you can see Charles Spurgeon, Martin Luther, Josephus, the funda. All right, so they have 5 volumes of this. Okay, I don't know how much this one is. I bet this is not cheap either. This doesn't seem like a cheap resource. Yeah. Why is higher criticism identified with unbelief? The reason is because no study, perhaps. Okay, well, anyway. There is higher criticism that once reverent tone in scholarly work, the German, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, because they kind of messed themselves up. That's why. Uh, Doubting what the. I'll say it. They had Germans that doubted the authorship of the Mosaic, the Talmud, the actual Pentateuch, and they divided them up into different um, things, and that messed a lot of Christians up and got them on the wrong path. Whew. I guess that's what it's talking about here. Okay, moving on. I don't want to stay in one place too long. Let's go look at another general book here. Here we go. Atlas, physical geography here. Uh, so, do they have pictures? I want pictures. Okay, this doesn't have any pictures. This is like an actual textbook. So yeah, but it's good. I mean, look, this is a lot of reading, man. Can't. Uh, the role of geography in understanding the Bible. Wow. Okay. So that's important. And then they show some verses, and then they mention John the Baptist, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's look at another book. Let's look at the sermons, yeah? So, sermons, we're going to look at the Spurgeon, of course, Spurgeon's. And then let's look at I don't know, Matthew. So I just clicked on it. It was like a Matthew sermon. So, this is Spurgeon. Of course, it's Metropolitan Tabernacle, because that's where he was a pastor. And this was in 1889. Wow. On the Lord's Day. So awesome. And then to begin, then at the beginning, there are far off brought nigh. God saveth whom he will to save. His grace is the most sovereign. You can not see as I do. Many persons brought to Christ without often wondering why they were brought. I have often seen that the last first and the first last. People whose conversion I should hardly dream of becoming converted, while other persons whom I have hoped over and over and prayed remain unconverted. Wow. So God works in mysterious ways. God is awesome, by the way. So let's move on to something else. The supplements, and we have a bunch of supplements here. And we're almost done with the review of this, the look at this. So let's look at something cool. I think the teacher commentaries, supplementary kind of thing. Okay, let's look at Joseph in Egypt. And then it talks about it, all the commentary and stuff. I'm gonna have to switch my arms because my hold on. Yeah. So at 17, Joseph had dreams which indicated he was to have authority over his brother and his parents. He foolishly told the dream. He foolishly told the dreams, and while his father took him seriously, the brothers became more jealous and eventually wanted to kill him. and that led to, well, he didn't die, but it led to something amazing down the road. Okay, and this even tells you about some of the actual time periods and stuff. That's interesting. One inscription even speaks of a 7 year famine in the time of the third dynasty, 2700 uh, BC. Wow. Okay, cool. Now, I guess let's finish it out with the media or some maps and stuff. Oh, yeah, we're going to look at the library in general. Okay, here's the maps. Let's look at Palestine and Christ time. So here, wow. So this is the Palestine in Christ time map. And over here, it'll show, maybe it'll try to show something if it had information here. And let's look at some other media. Okay, and this is photos of the Holy Land, which I never saw, to be honest with you. We'll pick Ephesus street theaters. That's the one, but it's hard to pick on it. There we go. There we go. Wow. You know what? My hand's already tired. Sorry. My hand's tired. Okay, so this is like different photos and stuff, and a little snippet that it's in Turkey. And, you know, wow. What stuff look like? Alright, now let's look at the library. And the library will give you every book ever that they have, all the maps, all the. This is interesting if you're looking for something like, oh, look, I want to look up Fox Book of Martyrs or something like that, and I want to read it. And then, like, okay, or the fundament. Yeah, that way you can go, oh, Hitchcock, or the Holy War, or this kind of thing. Or oh, there's all these entries about the IPV, uh, the Interlinear Bible here. Interesting. Okay, so let's click on that and open it up. And we'll just open it up right there. Okay, and I think I showed this already, so yeah. So it does have a search capability. I'm not going to do anything as far as searching, but yeah, you can do searching, you can change the search right there. And then over here you can copy paste verses. Oh, over here you can copy paste the verses and stuff, and you can print out stuff. Uh, and then over here they have other options too. So yeah, different options, different setup options, toggling things, going to the website but doesn't exist anymore, checking for updates but that doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, you all you get is this, and this is it, and that's not bad because I know some of this stuff if I would have bought it on, uh, you know, um, even if you got, even if you get, yeah, let me switch it. Even if you get the Logos Max, you don't get some of these, you know, softwares. The you don't get the, yeah. Although there is, oh, let me show you something real quick. I didn't see. Okay, like for example, let me just give you an example here. Lonida is not included in Logos. You have to pay for that. Thayer's is not included. You got to pay for it. The Theological Dictionary, the T this one, these are not included. You gotta pay for these, and they're not free. So yeah, to have the software a long time ago, it's useful, and you know, it's still useful. As long as it's not too buggy, you know, it still works. I wouldn't depend on it for like every single day kind of thing, but looking at it once in a while, uh, yeah. And the software is available somewhere. You just gotta look it up in Google. Okay, I'm out. This was too long. I like the software. Okay, let me show you the new software. Okay, let me show you the new software. The new software. I don't have the newest version that, but we do have. Uh, this is the premium subscription, which is gonna end. I'm gonna go back to free. Okay, and come on, load up, and then we'll just go to the. This is the one. Okay, so it has individual books, right? These are included in the premium, which is pretty good. Like First Peter, and then it gives you. But then this is a Lexingham text version. It's not as like. Uh, this is the forward, a series introduction, and yeah. So I like this one because it has. It's usually faster. The font is better. There's a lot of things over here that it works better. It just works better. How about that? Um, so while the new one is nice and has a lot of stuff, let's see. What about the commentaries? It says it has 177 commentaries, but you and I know it doesn't have 177. Some of the books that I bought over the time, the Warren Worsby and Jeremiah and some other stuff, yeah, it does work faster. There's no getting around it. It works faster. So, but and it looks nicer, of course. It looks nicer and it works faster. But there's certain stuff in here, certain materials that if you want the same exact experience, you'll just have to pay. And to get close to it's hard. You'd have to get a lot of this stuff. So you'd have to go through the live and see if you have it on logos and ex, say, well, I don't want all these. I don't want this. I don't want this. I'd like to get this one or this one, and then add up all the costs because this is not gonna be included mostly. Yeah, especially this one. It's not gonna be included. So yeah, the Warren Worsby stuff is definitely not included. You're gonna have to pay for it. Almost everything here is like, let's say the whole software with all this stuff included was 500 bucks, 500 something bucks when it first came out. You'd probably spend $2,000, $3,000 getting the same exact stuff, if not more. Because one software, one little entry. How many entries are there actually? I don't know. I don't know. Let's say there's uh 700 entries. So each one of those counts as like something purchasable, not something just included. Yeah, like for example, all the Bibles are you know, not purchase not included. They're all purchasable. So like these Bibles here, I mean, they're like 17 Bibles or something like that, probably included in this one. Yeah. So yeah, there is still use for the old software. I think the resources aren't cheap now, and everything is uh, expensive on the newer system. But you get a faster interface, a cooler interface, a more usable interface. But then you lose. Uh, anyway, I'll stop talking. I talked about it already. Okay. God bless you. Have a wonderful, amazing day.